up for?
Dazed.
She's like days. He's like weeks.
I feel like that saying is like tying into a lot of movies too.
Yeah.
That's like Inception too.
Yeah.
When they go to that place and like how long have they been in?
Oh, the layers.
Yeah, like they've been for weeks already.
Just stuck in there.
Existence is pain.
Oh, don't bring that up. But from there,
Whoa.
what else from there?
So yeah, they basically leave, and she says right before she takes off is that we can't let them win, which makes me think, are they notorious for doing that? Has she been infiltrated before, or is it just like the fight against us?
Fight against
them?
like the man.
Yeah, which is brings up another interesting Matrix thing where it's like the people versus the man versus the machine almost. But I got that sense of Agent Smith from Fisk the whole time, where he was kind of like
And Anderson?
yeah, he was an agent, dude. He was real Anderson, where he was better than the humans because he was chosen to be
a specific
modified.
way, yeah.
Basically, yeah. But I can't remember again what's from there after they.
Homeboy with the shotgun in his arm chases him.
Oh, that's right.
All the way to the roof, and then Stem's like, there's nowhere else to run.
I'm gonna make quick work of this.
Like
Yeah.
this.
And he's like, how? And then he's fucking shoots himself, basically.
I like how the movie does a lot of that, but it's really fast.
Yeah.
Like it's not drawn out kills. It's like.
It's
Dude,
like
getting shot in the face.
slow-mo or something.
This guy's dead.
Yeah, like
On to the
especially
next scene.
the first kill where he kills the wife. It's like, how you think I'm a piece of shit? And she's like, blah blah blah. He's like, just kills her.
I like movies
It's
like
very
that.
off,
fast.
Yeah,
That just do it right. Like
There's
don't
no
hold
build
back.
up. Exactly. There's no can't hold back. So he does that shit and kills.
Blows that dude's
I didn't think that was gonna happen in the beginning. I was like,
Fucking blows that dude's head off, and they're on the rooftop.
Yeah. Because I think he was running up the stairs, right?
Okay, I can't. So after he blows his head off,
That's when Kip comes out of the stairs and he's like, oh, Napoleon.
Kip is Fisk. Kip Fisk.
Head's gone.
Yeah, so he kind of has they battle it out, and he kind of tells them like, hey, you're we did this for you. This is he kind of, that's when he figures out that the job was for him. He was the job. Gray was the job. The job wasn't to kill a hit job for the wife. The wife was just an added bonus for money to kill her off, but the main thing was to get him. And he's like, "Oh, you thought I shot you in the
No, we
neck
skipped
with a gun?"
the part where he goes back home and his mom sees him.
That's right. Fuck.
And then he's trying to explain this whole thing of why he's walking in, and skip a little bit more ahead, and that's when the detective shows back up again, and he has to kind of act like he's
In the bed,
quadriplegic again, and she's interrogating him again. She's like, why was your wheelchair at the spot of this next guy's murder?
Yep.
And he's like, oh, well, I went there, and then these guys didn't like that I was there, and luckily a good Samaritan put me in a taxi and drove me off.
Yeah, got me out of that situation.
Yeah, and she's kind of, I don't think she's really buying it anymore.
it, yeah.
And you see her hand kind of put something in his jacket, and he
It's a mic bug.
yeah.
And the reason why STEM can't notice it's because it's old school analog, which is kind of ironic too, because it's he says I didn't notice it because it's doesn't have any computer chips in it, or it's not
nothing
digitized.
Doesn't have a Wi-Fi.
It's not digital. Yeah, it doesn't have a Bluetooth.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a callback to the old school under the radar stuff. You know, she wasn't detected because she had old school spy stuff basically.
So she's already on to him because she can hear. She leaves and then she's outside listening and she's hearing the conversation, but it's more of a one-sided conversation because she can't hear STEM at all.
Yeah, she thinks he's on the phone.
Yeah.
Talking to someone else.
And then that's when he, I think he's like, oh no, we can't do this anymore. We're gonna get caught. And then STEM's like, oh, like I think he becomes quadriplegic again. And then he's like, Stem, like, what the fuck? What's going on? He's like, you're no longer in control.
Yeah.
And he's like, you removed all the safeguards. And he's like, so that means I'm in total control now.
Yeah,
I don't need your permission to do anything.
Yep.
He can control the neck up now.
Yeah.
He controls everything.
Yeah.
And so that's when he, gets out of there. And then
He pays a visit, no?
that's when he goes to fucking Fisk.
I feel like there was a part too that we missed where
The car scene.
Well, yeah, that and the dream too, because that's kind of essential. Where he's asleep, but then he feels like he wakes up, and the dream feels so real because he sees his wife, and it's so simple that it seems like it's real life because she just says, "Oh, you want to wake up and get pizza or something?"
Mm-hmm.
And so she's like, "What?" And just grabs his arm and he flips out, and he looks again and he's like, "No." She's like, "Was it when he was sleeping with the mom?"
The mom wakes him up.
And she's like, "Oh, you're having a nightmare or something." He's like, "No, that was a fucking real dream. That was real." And now it's almost retrospect to show you what's gonna happen because you're starting to see that Stem is planning
his.
I think that was the beginning of his mental break.
Mm-hmm.
When Gray's kind of, his brain is almost kind of shutting down and going to a state where he feels more comfortable and kind of shutting off basically going into a coma and then living in a fake world.
A dream world.
Yes. And so Stem, that's when the whole conversation happens.
Mm-hmm.
And then Stem takes off, and then there's a car chase.
Mm-hmm.
And Stem basically hacks a car that's in front of them, and he's like, don't worry, I'll take care of this. And then
he can't hack the police car because her car is an offline car too.
Yeah.
And both of their cars are old school cars. They're non-electric. They're gas powered cars, so they can't be fucked with.
It's kind of a callback to her wanting to buy his muscle car because she's a gearhead herself. So her car's like souped up, and that's why she's able to keep up with him in a car chase.
Because you notice she can tell her car like sirens, and it would just turn on.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, that's sick.
Yeah.
that was pretty dope.
But anyway, he hacks one of the more futuristic cars and has it backpedal down the freeway in the opposite area or the opposite way of the traffic, and essentially crashes into Cortez, our detective.
Cortez.
And she's injured but not dead.
Nah.
Not by a long shot.
And Gray ends up at Fisk's place.
Little hideout.
Fisk walks in, he comes home from somewhere, or he comes back home, and Gray's already hiding in the dark, and he's got a pistol drawn on him.
Yep.
And he says, "Raise your hands, but don't even think about trying to use your cannon or whatever."
Yeah.
And basically, he tells him he knows everything. And he wants to know why did you kill my wife?
Yeah.
And basically he's like, your wife was never the job, you were the job.
You were the job.
We were sent to do that to you, to basically make you handicapped. And then he also says, your wife was just extra money.
She was just an added bonus. More money.
Yeah.
And so, of course, that sets Gray off.
That's right.
And that initiates this kind of showdown between
I like
Fisk
what
and-
Fisk says, like,
Yes.
oh, don't let your emotions take control of you.
Yeah.
He's like, that's your first mistake.
That's
And then it also ends up being
his mistake too, which I find ironic because emotions are more of a human trait, and he's almost letting you know, like, hey, you got to be more robot, you got to be more STEM than human, because once you start being human,
you make mistakes.
And that's what STEM's there for, to remind you of those mistakes, correct those mistakes. Yeah.
that was a pretty cool part too. Like
And
all the little details.
I like the hand-to-hand combat they're doing, and Stem's like, he's countering every attack I'm doing. I can't I can't progress.
Yeah, he's
on my
almost
attacks.
Like he's just as good as him, right?
Yeah.
It almost it's almost as a homage to the Blade Runner, where he's like he is the nexus that is supreme to him. So he's trying to fight the one that's he's trying to overcome the one that could kill him. Basically, get rid of get rid of the old generation to make new way for the new generation of STEM robots. Because if you if you see it that way, Fisk was like a
elitist.
Yeah, he was like the leader of them. So there was nobody that was going to be able to kill him unless STEM came along, and he's kind of working his way up the food chain. So when he fought him, he met his match.
He's like Fisk 2.0.
Yeah, exactly. He was
upgraded version.
He was
the upgrade of the upgrade.
There you go. He was the upgraded version of the upgrade, so the upgrade had to kill the upgrade.
The downgrade.
By downgrading.
Yeah.
Because he's like, yeah, I killed your brother.
Yeah, so he basically was saying, hey, this dude can fucking calculate all my moves before I even hit him. How the fuck are we going to do this?
And then he's like, do something, Greg.
He said do something because the robot was relying on human emotion. He got the human emotion of him, and what did he tell him? He notices that he has the same last name of Turk, and he's like Cirque. And he's like oh, Cirque, did you know that guy? Was he like your brother? He was a little bitch when I fucking killed him. He was no fucking soldier, motherfucker.
He was a soldier when he died.
When he died, he was screaming like a bitch.
That was pretty sick line.
And so he got the better of emotion of him, and he let his emotions get to him, and that's his ultimate fucking letdown or his downfall, because he fucking kills him. He
immediately, once that mistake is made,
severs his spine.
He throws him up against this crazy brick wall and through this like glass thing
that breaks.
That breaks all over
pointed
him.
up.
And there's a jagged ridge there, and he grabs Gray grabs Fisk by the hair and just throws him on the glass.
Cuts his fucking spine.
It was very Mortal Kombat-ish.
Yeah. Finish up.
Yeah, the movie has some really good little Mortal Kombat fights to it.
Fatality.
Yeah. Finish him.
And then so that's when he says, check his earpiece. Or check his phone, like his messages.
Call records.
Yeah, his call records. And then he hears Aaron calling him saying, he's
going to figure us out.
He's going to figure us out, yeah. He's going to come kill you or kill me or whatever. And then that's when he drives over to Aaron's house. Mm-hmm. And Aaron's all fucking crying and shit. He's like,
yeah, because you realize, you think he's the mastermind. They play it up so
like he's the end game, right?
Yeah,
which makes sense. Because in retrospect, you're like, it has to be this guy.
I thought it was him. I thought he was getting back at fucking Aaron and Aaron's wife for thinking that they were better than his company and saying, do we really need, are those really going to help humans? I thought it was him saying, look at all this shit that it did for you, and, do you think it can help you now? I thought that it was going to be the end.
Like, I made you type deal.
Yeah, I opened your eyes, motherfucker, look at this shit. But, nah, he was upon himself.
He's like, I used to be the. He's like, I haven't ran this company in years.
Yeah.
He's like, someone else took over. Mm-hmm. He's like, you know who it is.
Someone close to you.
Yeah. And he's like, STEM.
STEM was the.
He was the one talking in his ear the whole time.
Yep. The mastermind behind everything, pulling the strings.
The big twist.
Yeah. So basically, what it boils down to is that STEM needed Gray to go through all the different soldiers and get rid of all the other technology because he's the only STEM. And if all of them are already dead, he has nobody who can sabotage him.
No competition.
He is now the single,
STEM 2.0.
the single entity.
Yes.
He is the finest.
And
alive.
so that's why Aaron is scared and kind of cowering, because he's like, oh, now you're here to kill me because I'm the only one with the brain who can make another stand.
Yep.
And that's when it becomes Inception.
No, that's when it becomes fucking Frankenstein.